Rob Reiner. I'd love to hear the panel's thoughts. I'll say this. I grew up watching All in the Family. He was introduced to me as Meathead. He was that, and by the way, Archie Bunker was a full-on a-hole. I mean, he was racist, and at a time in television where you could really be racist and use certain words, he was racist. Meathead was the balance that made that show so memorable, and conversations were had on that show that could never happen now in a sitcom. And it was funny. And there was no doubt Archie was an a-hole, but as I can't pronounce things today, points out, he was the measured one, but he was also an a-hole in many situations. But, you know, we were allowed to call each other names. I love that. And then he evolved into such an important director of Americana. You know, everything from Stand By Me, movies like Stand By Me, Princess Bride, which is a kid's movie, but not really. No. And I saw in 2021, I went to the Hollywood Bowl and saw The Princess Bride, Rob Reiner there, the LA Philharmonic, saw the movie with the orchestra playing. It was incredible. And this year had the opportunity to see Rob Reiner at San Diego Comic-Con in a conversation with director Paul Feig, Directors on Directing, that Steve from Collider moderated that panel. It was a brilliant panel. Directors talking shop to other directors. Rob was, you know, talking about Spinal Tap Part 2, which we got to see a few clips from. He was charming. He was amazing conversation between two colleagues. Then I went to the premiere of Spinal Tap 2 and saw Rob do a live Q&A with the cast in character. It's weird that my path crossed with him twice this year, but just remember, like, he's made so many amazing films. We can talk about them, but I'd like to get, anyone else have personal remembrances of Rob Reiner that you'd like to share?
I mean, you know, we're roughly the same age, but yeah, it was Meathead. You know, that was my first introduction, All in the Family. You know, it was at a that show came out at a very transitional period in American history when I believe it was the beginning of equality. It was the beginning of diversity, and somehow we've jumped off the track. But having said that, I remember when I first saw The Princess Bride, I was hanging out with some friends. They went to UCLA, went to Westwood. First Friday, packed, all adults and everyone laughing. I had to see it twice because we laughed through half the movie. I couldn't pick it up. And then Stand By Me, I must have seen that at least 30 times. Harry Met Sally, I mean, another classic. You know, and I talked about it on Friday, but just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you go kill them. I know that's not what happened with Rob Reiner, but it's this temperature we've built where everyone we meet, in our mind, we have to decide, are they friend or foe? We don't give people the benefit of the doubt anymore, and we don't even try to create some kind of unity. And people are going to hate me saying this, but it's happening on both sides, but more on one than the other. We just got to start seeing people as human beings. And
yeah, it's and also, Alan, I might remind you of this video here. I don't know if you remember this.
He looked up at me with his big weepy eyes. Don't go home tonight, Harry. Hold me a little longer, Harry. What was I supposed to do?
What are you saying? You took pity on me?
No, I was...
Fuck you!
I mean, Alan, how am I hotter than Meg Ryan?
Alan can fake it with the best of them. I'll have what he's having.
I know.
Respect to Rob. He was one of the only celebrities to come out and disavow people talking shit about Charlie when he was assassinated. This, we'll get into it, obviously, it seems not be political. I hate his politics. He was a super political activist. That has nothing to do with being unalived by his son or whatever happened. Horrible. I will remember him for his great movies and his performance. People liked him on The Bear and other things. So he's still acting, still directing. Yeah, when I'm looking at this list of movies, like some of these are my favorite of all time.
Mm-hmm. Same. He directed some amazing films: Stand By Me, Princess Bride, Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men, which is probably one of my favorite movies of all time to watch. And he was in some of my favorite, like, I don't watch a lot of romantic comedies, but I mean, he was in some that I really, really enjoy. And what happened to him was terrible and tragic. Um, and it's just, I swear this weekend it was really, really hard in
Well,
terms of like news.
yeah, there was a lot of horrible news.
There was a lot this weekend. I took a nap because I'm old, and like when I laid down, it was nothing but the Bondi Beach stuff.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, it was nothing but Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Like, we cannot catch a break in this reality right now. It's just
along with other shootings of a horrible nature in this country. We won't go down that road right now. That's for others to address.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. Sorry, Chet said. Just saw him in Wolf of Wall Street. He played the dad that was like their enforcer, accountant, or whatever.
And here he is working, into, he could have made more films.
Yeah, he could have lived a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, the filmography is amazing, but what he really addressed was humanity and Americana.
Mm-hmm.
He's really that Americana. Stand By Me is a classic. Princess Bride, classic. He's a guy that made films that, went beyond the time in which they were made. They're kind of timeless stories.
They're also different too. Like,
Yes.
some filmmakers just kind of make the same, but like Stand By Me, Misery, Princess Bride, The American President.
Few Good Men.
Those are
Few
drastically
Good Men.
different.
I mean,
Few
it's
Good
such
Men.
a
Drastically
a wide range
different
of films.
movies. Yeah. Dude's very prolific.
I just, when you look at the filmography, it's everything from romantic comedy to horror to coming of age. I mean, crossing genres. I mean, we've talked about recently maybe some filmmakers that have kind of revealed that they may only be one trick pony, but Rob Reiner was not a one trick pony. He could entertain and tell stories that went, that cross many genres. They're very different films. It's like you look at certain movies, you go, okay, that's a Chris Nolan film. Or you look at Guardians of the Supergirl Galaxy and you go, well, that's James Gunn. He makes the same movie every time. You cannot say that about Rob Reiner. They're very, even mockumentary, and then including himself in it as the director in the movie.
And the cultural zeitgeist.
Right.
Also, like the faking the orgasm scene is fucking famous. You can't handle the truth. Like, I do not think it means what you think it means. Like, all these things embedded themselves in our pop culture.
Oh yeah. It's like he understood human nature and the emotional weight to, to being human. He put all of that in his films, and that's why it's such a wide range of filmography, because like if you look at all of these films, everything is basically, human emotion, driven by emotion, and he understands that, is able to get that across in his films. It doesn't matter what it is.
Well, also, if you look at his filmography, these are all movies that they were not huge hits. They did well. All of his films have done well, with the exception of a few that I remember. But
North.
What?
North.
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
Yeah, a few that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the kid that's hitchhiking north?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
But
I have heard of it, never seen it.
It's
Look,
unanimously considered a bad movie.
that's fine. But the point is, I was thinking of LBJ. I saw LBJ and I was not blown away by that, even though I love Woody Harrelson. But you look at his filmography, it's kind of all over the map, and all just generally good films, solid, and movies that stand the test of time. I feel the problem is we're in one of the worst eras of filmmaking ever. Just the worst era. If there's a thing is there's such a thing as a dark age, we're in the dark age for Hollywood right now, with few exceptions. But his films all have stood the test of time. I mean, look, he made a sequel. This is Spinal Tap. That was made the original was made in 1984, and that movie was still popular from the music, the characters, merch even. I mean, they make jokes about that in the sequel. So
And he's the only one in the movie who didn't age.
Yeah. He looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same, but it's all very sad. I mean, he was 78 years old, so lived a full life, but could have made a lot more films. So, but let's talk about the circumstances under which he was taken from us. According to reports online, he is allegedly was killed by his own son.
Yeah, he's got 3 kids. So one of them and the one they had a contentious relationship with.
Correct. Let me bring up the story from Variety, and Alan, or Badger, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at the notes and just getting us the basics from this, and then I have something I want to share.
Sure. Rob Reiner remembered. Filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were killed in their home, allegedly by someone close to them. Details remain unclear, but the shock ripples through Hollywood. We've since heard that it is the son they have in custody.
Yeah.
The incident threatens to overshadow the career of one of the industry's most beloved figures, known not just for his films, but his optimism, generosity, and activism. It's a sad day in Hollywood. An unthinkable, upsetting, and all-around shocking day. It's one of the quotes. Reiner is widely regarded as one of the great American studio directors, despite never receiving an Oscar nomination for Best Director, which we will probably see a posthumous one come out very soon. Over an 11-year stretch, he directs 6 Hall of Fame films, each leaving a permanent mark on pop culture. This is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, Misery, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, The American President. Unlike filmmakers known for flashy visual signatures, Reiner kept himself invisible. Reiner, rather. His films don't call attention to directing tricks or stylistic flourishes. Instead, they focused on characters, performances, and emotional clarity. Writers like Nora Ephron, Aaron Sorkin, and William Goldman often receive much of the credit, but the article argues that Reiner's true genius lies in knowing when to step back and let others shine. One of Reiner's greatest strengths was casting. You will struggle to find a single miscast role in his major films, especially praising The Princess Bride, where every actor felt perfectly matched to their character. Reiner encouraged improvisation, trusted actors to deepen the material, and created an environment where performances feel natural, lived in, and timeless. Comedy ran through all of Reiner's work, even his dramas. Raised by comedian and legend Carl Reiner and shaped by All in the Family, he absorbed humor as a storytelling instinct, not a genre constraint. The sensibility helped his films balance sincerity with wit, never tipping too far into irony or sentimentality. Reiner was deeply involved in shaping scripts, working closely with writers to refine structure, stakes, and character logic. Aaron Sorkin credits his process with strengthening A Few Good Men, a level of script discipline, the article argues, is rare in modern studio filmmaking. While Reiner's career slowed in the 21st century, he remained creatively active, directing the warmly received HBO documentary Albert Brooks, Defending My Life, and returning this year with Spinal Tap 2. His legacy remains secure, even if his later work never matches his peak run. Rob Reiner occupies a rare space, deeply loved, endlessly influential, and still underappreciated. Reflecting on this tragic event, we land on a single word that echoes one of Reiner's most famous films: inconceivable.
Yeah, and let's welcome on Ramesh Iyer. Ramesh, you're a friend of the channel. You've been on Versus before. You're a director in your own right. Do you have any thoughts on Rob Reiner, as you just heard?
Yeah, no, it's just really sad. And it's a tragedy. You know, it was a family member apparently. And, you know, it goes to show you that it doesn't matter how successful you are, or, you know, that you just, everyone has to deal with tragedy in their own way. So you're not exempt from it in any way.